School is the most important thing in your life. And while I hate school, I got a PhD. And I hate school. I hate everything about it. So somebody say, E, if you hate school so much, why you get a PhD? Because I hate school, but I love options. You can have average skill, but you can't have average will. You can't have average will. Like your will has to be phenomenal. You have to see basketball as the gateway. It's like a passport. Basketball is just your way to get in, and then once you get in, boom, then you dominate. So I'm telling you, you're not taking a test because they're giving you the test. You're taking a test that's about to change your life, your mama's life. And I know if you take the test serious, you'll kill it. When you go through your go-through, your siblings are watching you. When you go through your go-through, your friends are watching you. When you go through your go-through, your parents are watching you. And people will use your strength to get through their stuff.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's your boy E.T. Welcome to another edition of Extreme Teacher Podcast. Hey, three things. Oh, three things. No, three things, y'all. Three things. Number one, man, we here to inspire y'all. Like I said, I was in the classroom for a long time, and I promise you, you need a daily dose of inspiration. Now, it might just be me, but there were days I come in and I got drank. Let me tell y'all something. It's true story. True story. When I worked at the elementary school, I promise you I would come home at 3:30, 4 o'clock and sleep till about 7 o'clock. Every single, them babies wore me out, right? Number two, you need a community, man, like for real. Sometimes if you're not careful, like teaching can seem like the loneliest place on the planet, right? Even though it's thousands of people, perhaps in your school, you can feel like you all alone on an island by yourself, and we're that community for you. And then finally, man, if you're going to get better, you got to grow. It's grow or die. The caterpillar must become a butterfly or die. Now, humans be dead for about 20 years before we bury you, but we want to help you to grow as a professional. So make sure, if you're looking for professional development assistance, like we got your back. So I'm going to turn it over to Katie. We have a very special edition for you today. We've been talking about bouncing back. She's going to walk you through what we're going to talk about. And then let's bless the people, y'all. Let's bless the people.
All right, let's do it. Hey, last episode in our series, we've been talking about this pandemic bounce back and getting back into the classroom this year. And we've talked about how we're going to support teachers and educators and administrators. And today we're talking about parents. So parents, we love you. We want to support you too. And educators who are working with parents, that is a whole piece of the puzzle that we cannot forget. We love the babies in our classrooms, right? But the parents need to be a part of the village. So today we're going to talk about parents and how do we help support parents every year, but specifically this year, we know you're going to need a little more support. So that's important that we all work together as a team.
No questions asked. So we're going to start off with Val. Val, talk to my parents and tell my parents what they can do to support their babies.
All right. This one touchy, E. This touchy for me.
All right. Let's touch the people there. Let's touch them there.
It's not about you. Yeah. It's not about you as a parent. I think in this whole triangle between the school, the kid, and the parent, we think it's about us. We think it's about how we feel and how they made us late and but it's not about you. So we have to pour into our kids to prepare them to be the adults that they need to be. So how do we do that in this season? You have to prepare them for tomorrow at the end of today. Like get that routine in their system. I had a great conversation with Brandon the other day about the way you view things. And if you view it in a negative manner, yes, old school, the glass is half empty, but it's still half full. It's still a fact though. It's still a fact that it's half empty. It's just the way you choose to look at it. And your kid is not you. It's really not about you. So your kid they cut different. If you take the DISC assessment, you'll learn that. But if they're cut different, you can't just plow them through the educational system or this season. You may have a great bounce back spirit. They may not.
Absolutely.
So you have to figure out what they need in order for them to be successful, not what you needed when you were a kid. That's me.
Yeah, you know what? And on the flip side of that same, it's not about you. It's also not about you, and when I say that, like as a parent, man, I promise you, I have a way that I have a way I want things to go for my kids. There's a way that I want my child to be, but the reality is I have to prepare them for like right now, the social media world. I have to prepare them for, what they're going through. Like it's tough, man. I'm telling you, like just yesterday I had a conversation with somebody and I just was like, yo, I did this, I did that, I did this. Like, why didn't it work out this way? You know what I'm saying? Like I was there for my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I went to school with the kids. Like I did everything. We read to them. You know what I'm saying? Like I did everything I could do. Like why isn't my child further along the road? Let's travel. And I had to just stop and be like, yo, E, for real, you got to get out your feelings, bruh. You got to get out your feelings. Like, this is the truth of where they are. This is the truth. I got one still in school. I got one who's about to finish up her master's degree. I got another one that I believe that by going to get a master's could take their life to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Economically, it's like, yo, you want this? This is going to get you there. But they like, I ain't trying to hear it. And I'm like, yo, E, don't get frustrated, because when you get frustrated, Val, you talked about that negativity.
Yeah.
Man, I wish my kids was 5 again, like when I could just control them. You know what I'm saying? 5, like I tell you what to wear, I tell you when to eat, I tell you how much to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a wonderful world. You feel what I'm saying? But once they hit that adulthood, boy, it's like you don't got that kind of control when they get to college. So I would just say to parents, like, yo, to Val's point, like relax. Don't get caught up in your feelings. Like, don't get frustrated with, I thought we were going to be here. Let me just say this. Don't get trapped by time and methodology. Because I thought at a certain time they were going to be, and I thought by using this way it was going to, and I spent about a day. I wasted a day on why. You know what I'm saying? I spent the whole day on why, and I had to wake up yesterday on, all right, what we gonna do? Because you still need to be a parent, and they not exactly where they need to be. Some development needs to happen. So I'm with you, Val. I'm saying as a parent, that we got to let all that go, and we just got to say, what do we need to do for them? What do they need? Because it's just a different world. Like I grew up in a different time, in a different world. It's some stuff that they getting away with now we couldn't get away with in the day.
Hey, but why?
Talk to me now.
Why parents be on why? Explain to me. Explain to me why we ask why.
Because you don't like the answer.
Yeah. No, I don't like. There are some outcomes I don't like, and so when I measured back in the day, when I had measured and it didn't come out the way I had measured it, I'm like, yo, I did boom, boom, boom. Why is it not what I thought? And parents, I'm just being real. I'm being transparent. That's still wasting time. It's wasting energy. And it's not going to get your student anywhere closer to success.
Absolutely. Just give them the answer. They don't know. They don't know. Just give them the answer. What I got for parents is though, keep that same energy. Yeah. So that same energy, you want to come and you want to advocate for your baby. Keep the same energy in the crib with them when they're not doing what they're supposed to do.
Supposed to be doing.
Because like it's twofold. So it's not one or the other. One or the other. Too much of one is bad. Too much of the other way is bad. So if you just always at home in your kid face, but your kid don't ever feel like you advocate for them, out in public or out to the world, that's bad. But if you always out to the world advocating for your kid, but you don't never, you know what I mean? You don't never check them at the crib. That's bad. So you need a healthy balance of keeping that same energy to the teachers and to the administrators and to your kid.
Yeah, I love it. Talk to me, Sam.
Yeah, so I've got 2 things on my mind: patience and patterns. So, just as you all were just speaking of, when it comes to parenting, you got to think like, students might not have been socially engaged in the same way, in a year and a half or whatnot, academically engaged. And so when they transition back, like they might not be the exact same that they were a year and a half ago. Yeah. And so just thinking back, like I had a friend that sent her daughter off to camp, and it was like a slow, it was like, wait, like this is not how you normally engage. And it took a little bit to warm up by the end, because it probably had been a while and it's harder to bounce back, right? This is part of the bounce back. So just being very patient with your child and just continue to check in. and the other is looking for patterns. So if when your child goes back and like, oh, they might get a D or something on the first assignment, and then they get an A on the second assignment, like look for those patterns, because once again, that patience, like for that transition back, is important, but definitely look out for those patterns. Try not to overreact when things may look a little different this year at the beginning, but look for those patterns rather than just one case scenarios.
I love it. I love it. Patterns. Oh man, talk to me, Katie. What you got?
Yeah, I got two things for parents, specifically, like tangible things I think are really helpful that you can put with all of this stuff when we're giving them patience and making sure that we're involved. Like two tangible things I think will help, whether your kid is 5 or 15, are creating a space for learning at home and building routines. So it doesn't have to be an elaborate space. Maybe they have like, you know, a little basket of stuff that is next to the kitchen table, and that's where they do their homework every day. Or maybe you help set up a cheap, you know, reused desk in their bedroom, or whatever it is, there's a dedicated space for learning. There's so much power in that. And so often when we ask students, like, where do you do your homework? It might be like a different place each day, or they're doing it in bed and then they're falling asleep. And there's so much power. I mean, even before we started today, Val was talking about her routine and getting ready in the morning before we meet together here, right? So just having like, it brings you more energy before we do this. So having some kind of routine in place that they know this is where they're going to sit down and do their work each day at home is going to help them to bring more energy into the work that we want them to get done. So it can be simple, but helping them find that dedicated space. And then routines, whether it is a routine for your kid to do homework the same time every day. Some kids, we have to get to know our kids, right? Some of them, they are beat at the end of the day. They're like, don't ask me to do homework. And we got to get them up early and help them to engage in some schoolwork before they go to school. Some of them are like, do not wake me up early. I will roll out of bed right before I get on the bus. And we've got to help them, whether, you know, they take a 15-minute nap at the end of the day and do their homework at 8 p.m., whatever it is, help them develop a routine.
I love it.
Getting their work done.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
They do it on their own, right? Like,
yeah, I love it.
Naturally do, but we've got to help them implement those routines for sure.
No question. I want to go with Nell. Two things, same energy. So one, and parents, I know this is tough, and I have not always, you know, been I haven't always mastered it, but I tried my hardest. My wife tried her hardest. Make home a haven. You know, like it's hard to learn when people fussing, cussing. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to just be super transparent. It is difficult to come home and people fussing, going off, cussing you out. You know, maybe parents, you know what I'm saying? Y'all going through it. I don't care if y'all separated. I don't care if y'all on the brink of divorce. Like, I get it, but you gotta have good energy in the house. School, like learning is already difficult for some of us. Like some of us, like we didn't go to school excited. We definitely didn't come on homework excited. I'm not suggesting perfection, but I am saying that the more chaotic a house is, the more that's going to affect the child's learning in a negative. So let's create like if it's a room where there ain't no arguing, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just one room where ain't no fussing or fighting in that room. Or if you fussing and fighting, you keep that to one room, right? But when the kids are studying and learning and whatever, like it needs to be a nice, healthy environment. Same thing with school, parents. I don't care how you feel. As an educator, you and I are on the same team. Yeah. We're on the same team.
Let's go.
Keep that positive energy. When you come talk to me in my classroom, when you see me out, you know, waving to your kid when they come in, even if you got an issue with me, and you might have one, I don't share the exact same values you share. Like we're not Siamese twins. I might have said something to your child in a way that you wouldn't have said to them, or I might have challenged them or pushed them in a way that you wouldn't push them, or that you don't think is healthy. Come talk to me. Let's talk. You know what I'm saying? Let us reason together. But the going off, you know what I'm saying, and you know, the being irate, that energy is not going to make me come back to the classroom and love on Johnny. I'm just
talk to him.
I'm just saying, that's not going to make me come back and look at Johnny in a healthy way.
Y'all about to turn the corner. Come on.
No. I'm just saying, let's Can we all just get along? You see my shirt, love over hate, okay? And I mean that. And listen to me, it's your child, man. I respect that to the utmost. I have too. I understand how we want to talk to a child, how we want certain things. I get it. I'm just saying, even if we don't agree, there is a way to be agreeable. And there is a way to do it so that I can look after yours, you can look after yours. But I do want to tell you, we're on the same team. All I want is little Johnny to graduate, whatever the expectations are. I at least want him or her to meet those expectations. If we can exceed the expectation, that would be good for both of us. What I don't want is your child to fail. I don't. I wouldn't be doing this if I wanted to. So I'm just saying, come holler at me in a way where, you know what I'm saying, we can, you on defense, I'm on offense. You know what I'm saying? But we principal on special teams, but we still all on the same exact team trying to win this game. I just wanted to throw that in there just in case y'all didn't get to that before the episode. But now you see like you got something on your mind there.
Because it's this. Now, I don't want to, but I will if I have to. I don't want to discipline your kids. I would much rather that you did it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do it if I have to. And I'm not you. So it's probably not going to be the way you want it done.
So won't you just do it?
But if you could do it, then I could just facilitate the learning. That's what I really want to do. I just want to be facilitating learning. But I'm on discipline if I got a discipline.
Absolutely.
Right. Let me hop in real quick.
Please get in there. I felt you want to get in.
I was like, double that. I was waiting. I was like, Okay, couple of things. I got 3 points and I'm out, right? So parents. We have been conditioned to focus on grades. We've been conditioned to focus on grades. Change your focus to growth.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Because grades are the outcome. And then you're waiting and you become reactive. Yeah. But if we can be proactive, like most schools have a system now, log in. Make sure that you're getting a notification if the grade drops below whatever. Make sure you can set it up where you get notifications when they miss an assignment. But in all of this, set your kid up to win. If you have this kid chasing an A, but your kid is really a C, now you frustrating you and your child.
Yeah.
And especially in this season, y'all got to think our kids have not really been in a normal classroom for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So even like I was working with a school, my old middle school, they're starting back in 2 weeks. And I said, now remember, the only people that have ever been in middle school right now is your 6th graders. And they went to school until March. So now they're 8th graders. So now your 6th and 7th graders are brand new. So 1/3 of your school is all new.
Wow.
And 2/3. Usually it's 1/3.
Yeah.
Right, but 2/3 of the entire student body have never been in middle school. So you're used to just teaching your 6th graders the routine and the teachers handle it. I said, but now you have to govern that differently. And it's like, wow. I said, so right in this season, it's not a grade season.
Where was you, Val, with my mama? I was getting a whipping because of my report card. I needed her to focus on my growth. She was focused on my grades.
One was she talked excessively. She talked too much. See, excessively was way up, not too much. I didn't grow.
You could have saved me a whipping, Val. I needed this information. I want
our teachers to really understand. You have to look at, our parents to look at the growth. Your kid is getting up now. They might have slept in. They were sleeping over. Set them up to win. Don't sit there and tell your kid, I'm not getting you an alarm clock. You need to get up. Set your clock. Go in there and make sure they clock set.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like if you want to set them up to win. They're not at this age. I was able to do this. No, it's not you. It's not about you. That other thing, my parents, you have seniors that you want them to go to college. They've never filled out a college application. They should be doing it their junior year, but still, stop telling your kids you need to fill out an application. They've never done it.
Yeah.
And you telling them to go do it, and they haven't been in school because of the pandemic. So how are they just gonna leap to their junior year when the last time they was really in school was their freshman year? Now they're juniors, and you want them to fill out a college application. Tell me how. Nobody's talked to them about anything. So you have to set them up to win in this season.
I love it.
Well,
I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
jump in real quick because what I hear is grace
Come
for
on.
your kids and
Mhm.
understanding, and grace without expectation. So give your babies all of the grace. Give them grace. Help them. Ask them questions. But you have to keep very real expectations in front of your kids, or else they gonna think it's just sweet, and it ain't sweet out here. So like,
That's
make sure
good.
give them the grace, and then like let's have some real expectations. Hey, we said we was gonna take care of this week. I need you to be giving me some kind of information about what we
Yeah,
talked about, or you
yeah,
need to have the complete answer. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's not finna be okay.
yeah. That's not okay.
Let,
And I'm talking
I
to
don't know,
my
not an option.
now, and I'm talking to my employees too. I'm not just talking. You know,
It's about the school.
can I
It's
throw
about
that
the
in there
school.
real quick, just in
It's
case
about
they
the school.
listening now? I just want them to hear that's not okay. That's not okay. I'm trying to figure out the answer is a little better. I'm in the process of understanding.
Yup.
I'm learning. I'm growing. Hey, give me a couple days. Get back with me. I'll have the answer. That's the progression we're looking for. Katie, talk to me. Katie, you gotta get. I'm gonna get you some boxing gloves, Katie, because you're gonna have to get in on them, Katie. You gotta get in. Talk to me, Katie.
Yeah, I think I love that. I had grace written down and patience. These girls said it already. I love it. But I think along with the high expectations has to be the support. And that's
Yeah,
what Val was talking about of going
yeah,
in and setting the alarm clock, right?
yeah,
A lot of times parents say, well, when they're in the real world, somebody's not going to do that for them.
yeah.
Well, they're not in the real world yet.
Not yet.
They're
Yeah,
still in your house.
yeah,
And so we have to remember that yes, we want to prepare them for the real world, of course, but that's not where they are right now. And so right now they're still in your house. And if we have to set the alarm or drag them out of bed or set up the routines, that's our job to be that support. And then we can do this, as teachers, we know like gradual release of responsibility, right? So that's probably a phrase that maybe not all parents know, but give them all the support, and then you can gradually pull that support back and help them build the accountability in themselves.
yeah.
But we have to help them set it all up first. And this year, we're going to have to do that way more than probably we've ever had to do in the past. So, one more thing I want to say that would be really, really helpful, again, whether your kid is 5 or 15, is to model the behavior that you
Uh
want.
oh. Uh oh. Uh oh.
I know in so many ways, right? We can talk about character and academics or whatever, but like a couple simple things that I like to talk to with parents about is modeling organization skills, right? We want our kids to be organized, and reading. Okay, so I'm going to bring up reading all the time, but for real, it matters. And if your kids have never seen you pick up a book in your house, it is going to impact them, whether you think it is or not. It will. And you don't have to love reading. Just pretend you do. Okay. That's fine. Pretend if you have to, but let them see you doing the things that you want them to be doing. So let them see you reading. Let them see you listening to an audiobook or listening to a podcast, right? You're getting learning in. Let them see you reading the news each day or whatever it is. And then let them see you practicing organizational skills. So if you want your kids to use a planner, get a planner yourself, right? And if you need support with these things, ask your teachers and your school. We want to support you. That's what your school is for. So if we need to help you get planners in your house, you know that your schools will do that if you ask. So get a planner, use it, show your kids how you keep a to-do list and how you stay on top of things and how you prioritize learning. And they're naturally going to start to do those things a little more easily if they see that you are doing it as well. Like you think it's important enough that you're going to do it in your own life.
Yeah.
They're going to try to implement those things in theirs.
Yeah. So let me say this: get a coach, parents. Get a coach, like for real. Get a coach. I know it's difficult. Some of you, let's just be honest. Like you never took academics serious, right? And you like it's threatening. The new math, I got a PhD, and the new math is something special. The new math, I'm like, hold up. You know what I'm saying? Slow down. Let's go back over this one. The new math, I'm a pastor, so I got middle school element, and they come to me. I'm like, hold up with the new math. Give me a minute here. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's give me a day, and we go back over. I need to get some help. Parents, it's okay. Okay, it's not okay to feel threatened and abandon it altogether. It's not okay. It's okay to not know and go get help. So connect your baby with a coach maybe academic coach at school. The district might have one. Listen to me. There are coaches, right? So today, meliorism. I had to speak today for some event, and it's like the belief that the world could be made a better place by human effort. I never heard the word a day in my life. Listen to me. I struggled. I had to go online. Matter of fact, I went online, pushed the button, and was like, okay, hey, Carl, come here for a minute. Am I hearing this right? Let's do this one more time. I wasn't tripping. I'm not. Phonetically, I've just never been gifted. Whatever reason, the way my brain works, just words don't flow like that. It just don't. I don't see myself. Parents, do me a favor. Stop seeing yourself as inferior because you have not mastered every subject in school. Can I be honest with you? No teacher had. Most teachers have a specific area where they sweet at. They have a specific area. They don't know every single subject. So I'm one of the best communicators in the world and still struggle phonetically with a PhD. Somebody was saying the other day, you're supposed to have a PhD. I do, not in everything in the world. I don't have it in everything in the world. I have it in a special concentration, and I'm pretty good at that concentration. I don't have it at everything. And here's how I know it's just, and give your babies a break. My daughter was 3-4 years old, and she was killing words. I was like, okay, you was born like that. There's no way at 4 you just know that word. It's just no way. But just something in her, she like her mama, she just can read. My son, he's not the one. Unfortunately, he got that from me. He cannot phonetically, he's stronger than I ever was. Why? Because I realized I had a weakness and I made him practice earlier. So he's a lot, when you talk about growth, Val, but there are times where there'll be a word and I can see he kind of stumbles with it. But there are some areas where he would run circles. Like, for instance, if I drop my man off in Africa, he going to get back to the crib with no help. He going to make it home. My daughter will be stuck in Africa until you give her a book that says how to get back from Africa one-on-one. If it's not in the book, she can't do it. So I don't look at my children as he's weak or she's weak. I look at him as, yo, he got this superpower. She has this superpower. I don't. So do me a favor. Both of my babies have coaches. I pay for them to have coaches in the areas where they need a little assistance. So get a coach, call the school. I don't have no money. It's okay. The district is paying somebody to do that. They can get a reading coach, they can get a writing coach, they can get a math coach. They can literally get a person who will spend an extra 30 minutes to an hour one-on-one with them, building them up. And don't look at it as it inferior. You never look at the quarterback coach. Why is it that when they got a quarterback coach and the quarterback coach with them by themselves walking them through drills, you never look at them as an inferior football player? Why is it that the running back coach can do drills with the running backs? You don't look at that as inferior, but you look at a writing coach or a reading coach as them having some extra needs. We all have them. So I'm just saying to my parents, it can get overwhelming. It can. 100. When you have a real life, when you may not have the economics, you may not have the academic background, you may not have a lot of stuff, get help. Do not let nobody make you feel bad about getting help. Just look at it as an academic stimulus. Yeah, that's it. An academic stimulus. That's what it is. Talk to me, Sam.
Jumping right in off of that too. School districts have received federal and some state funding also for this upcoming school year. So it'll be really interesting to find out how your school district or your school is using that funding, because there are some schools that are, hiring extra coaches or their academic coaches, social emotional. So getting that information, I think would be really important for the school year. But I really wanted to also focus on relationships for a second in two different ways outside of your child. So the first one is with teachers. So the reality is, and I already know, like, some teachers who haven't even started school yet, the email inbox is like this, growing day by day, right? Because parents care and they're concerned and they want, the answers to their questions. So what I'm thinking about is, how do you communicate and build relationships with the teacher of your child in Untraditional ways, right? So the email inbox might be flooded. It might take 2 weeks. Teachers have to teach. They might have like an hour planning period. They're supporting students. They're planning. They're grading. They're doing all the things. And so what are some creative ways? Maybe if your child is really responsible, where you can give them responsibility to pass a note off to the teacher, right? How are you maybe volunteering at the school or popping up just to say, hey, how can I help or whatnot, if you have that flexibility? So just thinking creatively, how do you build relationships with teachers this year? And even if your child has like 6 teachers, there might be one that you have a really strong relationship with that can even help you navigate communication with the other teachers.
Gift card.
Oh, sorry.
Send me a gift card.
Hey, no, we are not saying pander, but we do like gift cards.
Get creative. And then the second thing I have is how are you building your relationships and activating your relationships with your village? The reality is, I know at least in Georgia already, some schools have been shut down for 3 days because somebody tested positive, or a week or whatnot. So pre-planning and being proactive, how do you activate your village and get that plan in advance? Because you might have to go to work. Maybe you have a neighbor that has a different schedule or whatnot, but more than likely that might happen. So how do you pre-plan for if school is shut down, where will your child go? What will happen, so that you don't feel super stressed out in the moment?
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, that's so good. That would help the kids to know what the plan is too. Yeah. So the kids going into the year, hey, if we have to quarantine, this is what our village plan is.
Yeah.
So
that's real good. Yeah. Yeah. And I'd say too, when you guys talk about, the village, is so much power and unity, it's so much power, in being on one accord. And so it's, I would suggest like, if you guys like go to the same church and your kids are at the same school, like use that, like come together and like, talk about, what's the expectations? What's the plan? Can I be honest with you guys? So of course, when I started teaching on the university level, there were a few things that I recognized. I was like, before I didn't really think were important, but the social capital is so important. Like parents, when kids got to college, that accountability of just when you come home from school, hey, how was school today? Man, I never realized how big that was till I got to the university level. Them not having anybody to check on them regularly. And then I guess maybe I started teaching at the university level in the early 2000s. So there was a technology gap between like students, universities, and parents. So a lot of the kids who like may have had grandparents, they didn't know how to go online and check the grades. So the kids could tell them anything. It's like, I'm doing good. Their grandma had no way, like, so 2, 1, nobody's checking on you when you come home. 2, there's no way for the parents to get the grades. And at Michigan State, now I was about to get fired. I'm just going to keep it 1. I was about to get fired. But we had a rule where we couldn't tell parents,
right?
It's like students, where I'm like, ain't no way. If grandma working at GM, you know what I'm saying? Grandma putting their hours at GM and she paying for this baby to go to school. I'm telling. You call me.
You was giving the grades out.
I'm giving everything out. I'm giving out grades.
Breaking the law.
I'm giving out how many times you've been in my office. I'm just like, that's not fair to ruin a whole kid's life because they're not doing what they're supposed to do and they're not telling their grandma. I'm like, that's not fair. So parents, understand from someone who taught K through 12 and at the university level. I'm being honest. Ask them every day. Yeah. Man, you don't think it means, ask them every single day. How you doing in school? Ask which classes are you struggling with? Which classes are you doing well? Where do you need help? That's a small thing, but if they respect you and they love you and they're honest, you're going to get the warning before it's too late. You're going to get, man, I'm struggling in math. Can I just be honest? It's too late when the grades come out.
Come on.
Like, there's nothing you can do. If you got an F, you got an F. Like, I can't go back and fix your F. You got an F. I mean, it is what it is. And so if you would ask, and then in a village, everybody, I'm a pastor. I still ask my kids when I see them, how you doing in school? Who you hanging out with? All right, parents, know the village. If the village got a couple bad apples, pull the bad apples to the side, because as a parent, one thing you'll discover, especially as your kids get older and they're in school, your little training and teaching go by the wayside. The older they get, they start getting out of elementary school and go to middle school. Them kids
See,
are
what you mean?
influential.
What you
I
mean?
hate,
Kids
I,
stop
I
caring
hate to
about
be
what
the,
their parents be
I
talking
hate
about.
to be the bearer of bad news. You still got young babies, so I want you to keep this hope alive, right? Now,
Me too.
hey, keep that hope alive. By the time they get in high school, man, it's a lot of kids in high school that's got more influence over your babies than you do.
And even for your good kids, they might get through high school, but by the time they get to college,
still right.
that look, I
Hello.
don't want to disappoint my mom and daddy. Go by the wayside.
So that's why we say if it's a village concept, you have a much greater chance if you run your household with a village of keeping them closer than if it's just one-on-one, right? If you got your kids up there and you like, don't talk to nobody, like, because you know some of y'all parents, y'all own that, like, keep to yourself, don't talk to nobody, just come home. Like, that's not gonna work. They are with another group of people from 7:45, 8 o'clock to 2:30, 3 o'clock. Teach them how to be healthy in that community, how to make healthy choices in that community, who to hang out with, who not to hang out with, you know, what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing. I promise you, they're in school longer than they're at home. Man, teach them how to, what's the word I'm looking for? How to maneuver through school, how to be progressive in school. And it's more than just going to class and teachers. Like they in the hallway. Yeah. Let me just say this. Let me just say this.
What they doing in the hallways, E? What they
them hallways, man. I'm just leave that alone. That's a whole other discussion. The hallways will be another discussion for another time that we'll save just for the kids. But we need to teach them how to be hallway ready, because let me tell you something. Hallway is where a lot of stuff happen, where a lot of kids get in trouble in that 5-10 minutes getting from one class to the next class.
And I'm not even coming from the experience as a teacher. I'm coming from it as a student. The hallway. I sit in school for 8 hours a day, but them little 7 minutes in between the classes,
hallway ready.
You can get a lot done.
Yeah, it's a lot done in 7 minutes. That's what. Hey, write that down, Katie. 7-minute hallway experience. We'll talk about that one day.
Hallway ready. We got to be hallway ready.
All right, so I'm gonna pass it around. I always do. Let's go back. This is for parents. All right, parents, give me I'm gonna go Sam, Katie, Nell, Val, and then we're gonna go to I know we hate to go to the principal's office, but this is Brandon's office is actually a good office. It's not negative. It's actually a good office. So Sam, what are we saying as we close? What are we saying to our parents? How can we help our parents?
You know what, parents, you have been the MVP in the pandemic. Like, you've had to pick up everything. Like, you've had to adjust your work schedule. You've had to collaborate with folks. You had to be the teacher, the parent. And I know that's been hard. And so as you transition back into school setting, I would just say something I haven't mentioned yet is, what is something that you can establish as a reward for your child also? So what are the things that your child likes to do? What do they enjoy? What do you all enjoy, doing together? And making sure while we have the expectations and we're supporting, that we also are implementing and rewarding our children during this transition as well.
I love that. Yeah, I'm going to just throw out helping your child find something that they love or are interested in about learning. So especially as they're transitioning back to something that maybe they haven't done in person or in a traditional way in a while, a lot of our kids might be approaching it in a negative way, like, oh, I got to go back to school, or I haven't done school in a while. Help them to find something that they enjoy about it. So maybe that's just having those conversations about the classes. Which class do you kind of like the most, though? Or which teacher do you like the most? Or which, what book have you found like kind of interesting? And helping your kids find things that they like to read. I will say that a lot. It exists. I promise you it does. Even if you've got a reluctant reader that tells you that they hate reading, there is something that they'll enjoy reading. So invest in that. It will make a huge impact in all content areas if we invest in our kids and helping them become readers and finding something that they like to read or in school that they are interested in. And then you can hang on to that positivity.
Love it. Love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say take inventory and then be honest. So take inventory and then be honest about what you see. It's not gonna help your kid if you lying to them and telling them that they're doing amazing at something that they're not doing amazing at. But also take inventory and be honest. If you see your kid is killing it in a certain area, you know what I'm saying, pour into those gifts, pour into their talents, you know, help them hone, you know, the skills that they do have and that they're doing well at. But take inventory and take inventory often. I mean, it's just simple stuff. Parents, like, listen, your baby not gonna go from being your baby that you held in your arms all the way to marriage without liking somebody. Like, it's not out of, oh my gosh, like you like people now. No, like, that's very natural.
Nell, don't tell me that, Nell. Don't tell me that, Nell.
Oh snap!
Jada like somebody now. Boo Boo like somebody now. Please don't tell me.
I'm like, hey, listen, I don't know how y'all think they get down the aisle, but they gotta go through liking somebody.
Let's talk offline, Nell. Let's talk offline.
That's a problem. You brought up a problem.
Take inventory and then be honest about what you see.
Love it.
Love it. Love it.
That's
Love it. Talk to us, Val.
Look, for me, my parents, connect on purpose. Connect on purpose. Don't reach out to question the teacher, reach out to support the teacher and just say, I'm here to partner with you to help my kid grow. I'm here to partner and not to interrogate, not to accuse, not to do all of that. Make sure the teacher knows you're there for support. My son, I let every teacher know I am 12 minutes away. Whatever happens, I can be here in 12 minutes.
Be there. I could be there.
I can be here. And parent teacher, and one thing I told them my expectations. Don't wait till parent teacher conference to call me. Call me when it go wrong so I can fix it and we can get it right because I have your back. Let the teacher know that you're supporting them. What will happen is that your child will see a partnership between the school and you, and then that's going to help them grow.
Love it. Love it. I would just say, guys, you know, some of the most meaningful and enjoyable things that we love about this earthly experience is powered by energy. You know, TVs, lights, telephone, the TV, microwave, refrigerator. Like, it needs energy, y'all. And let's stop walking around here acting like people don't need energy. We need energy. So rest, if you will, parents. Rest, you know, but don't you quit. Don't go 3 or 4 days with an attitude, 3 or 4 days mad at your kids because they didn't perform the way you think. They acting a fool in school. It's a lot going on. It is, but they need energy. And can I be honest? They need it from you more than they need it from anybody else. You know, I'm just as a parent, I got a lot going on in my life. My kids are adults and they still need that energy from me. Like, it's not enough to get it from their mentors or from their teachers or whoever. They still like, yo, dad, you know what I'm saying? What do you think about this? How you feeling about this? Like, they still want to make me proud. Parents, I know life is rough. I get it. But we brought them in this world. So we got to energize them. And I know you prefer the teacher to do it, the babysitter to do it. I get you. You didn't put them on grandma, auntie. I feel you. But at the end of the day, they look to you. And so rest, you know, go take a weekend off if you need to. But whatever you do, don't quit on these babies. Don't give up on them. And don't give up on, there's another way to do it. Maybe the way you're doing it ain't working. You don't have to take it personal and just throw your hands up and like, I'm sending them. You know what I'm saying, I'm getting rid of. Don't do that. Don't do that. Get you some rest, and get you some support as well, parents. Maybe you need to be in a support group, but whatever you do, man, energize those babies because one day you're going to look back and be so grateful and the world's going to be so great. And I know me and my mom was at odds. I was doggone homeless at 16. We was at odds. My mom like, where's my son? What's going on? But she put some good stuff in me. And when we did see each other, she tried to be positive. And as a result, I'm changing the world. We changing the world. So don't lose hope. My mother, when I was homeless, she never was like, that's it. I don't never want to talk to him again. We through, we done. I didn't probably come back to my mom for real. So I was probably like, I don't know, 23, 24. When I had my son, we really got close again. But throughout that time frame, my mom never gave up. You know what I'm saying? We have a phenomenal relationship and I'm able to change the world because of that. And I'm grown and still need mama. I still need my moms. So I just want to tell you parents that you know, it might be rough right now. It's not what you think it should be. You like, how did they get to this? How did they get there? Don't lose hope on them babies. You stay loving them. You stay encouraging them. You stay energizing them. But to Nell's point, when they need to be touched, reach out and touch somebody. You know what I'm saying? Go reach out and touch them when they need to be disciplined, all right? Because if we discipline them and you not, then we're going to look like the enemy. Like my mom ain't never say that was wrong. My mom ain't never think, so don't do me like that. You know when they need a little baby holy. The Bible said holy hand, lay holy hands. You know when they need that, all right? So we love y'all, man, for real. We're doing this because we hope that at least once a week you got somewhere you could go to get some inspiration, feel like you understood, right? And you're getting a little information that's going to help you go to that next level. All right, it is now time to go to B's office. B, what up?
How are we? Man, that was a power-packed episode, E. That was power-packed. I love that.
I got some phenomenal educators in the building. I picked them well. I got to choose who I wanted, and I picked them well.
You picked the all-star team. I love it. I love it. Well, welcome back to B's Office Hours, everybody, where we recap and review some of the most important points from today's broadcast. Now, today we're talking about Pandemic Bounce Back. We're finishing out the series. We've talked about teachers, we've talked about administrators, we've talked about students. Today was all about the parents. And Auntie Val opened us up strong. She said, it's not about you, it's about the kids. All right, one more time. It's not about you, it's about the kids. So they might need something a little bit different than you needed when you were in school. They might need a little more support. They might need a little less support. We don't know, right? ET said, don't get trapped by time or methodology. Don't get trapped by the established way of doing things. Focus on what's best for the child, right? That is what is most important and what really matters at the end of the day. Now, how can we do that? We heard Katie talk about modeling behavior, not forcing it, but modeling it, practicing organizational skills, getting a coach, communicating with teachers for support, or like Sam mentioned, develop that relationship with the teachers. There's different ways to do it, but we have to focus on what is most important for the kids, no matter what, right? Point number 2 was growth over grades. Grades are important, absolutely, but growth is imperative, right? Grades are important, but growth is imperative. ET was a high school dropout. According to grades, he shouldn't be who he is today, but because of the growth, he went on to get a PhD and become the #1 motivational speaker in the world. So when we focus on grades, we tend to put a lot of pressure on kids. We start focusing on the negatives, how they're not good enough, how they aren't enough. When we focus on growth, we start thinking about positive progress. And that's the frame of reference that we want to give these kids. Point number 3. Nell said, keep that same energy, regardless of where you are. You can't advocate for them in public and then not have the same energy at home. ET added to that by saying we need to make the home a safe haven for the child, especially in 2021, especially with the state of the outside world, especially with the controversy and stress that a lot of these young people face today, even in the schools. So make the home a safe and healthy environment, physically and metaphorically. Give them the room to learn peacefully. Remember, as a teacher and a parent, we're on the same team. Therefore, as a school and a home, we should be on the same page, right? ET said that there's power in unity. We just have to get there. So lots and lots of good stuff today. But as always, students, teachers, administrators, parents, if you know an extreme teacher who goes above and beyond to make an impact in their classroom, we want to hear about it. We're going to start our teacher highlights next week. So keep sending us those stories at info@extremeteachers.com. And of course, if you're interested in a professional development being done at your school or multiple professional developments, we have a full system designed to transform schools. And if you're interested in that, contact us at info@extremeteachers.com. And I just want to close by saying this. We know that there are challenges this year. We know that it is a transition, right? We know that there's fear, there's challenges this year, and they're real challenges, but we've spent the first 4 weeks, the premier episodes of the Extreme Teacher podcast has been focused on the pandemic bounce back. And we did that on purpose. We did that because we believe that it's important. And we also did that because we believe that if you take the things that we've talked about in these past 4 episodes and apply them, that school year that you've been dreaming of might be far closer than you could have imagined. And if you look closely, I think that you'll realize it's not that far at all. You're watching the Extreme Teachers video podcast, and we'll see you next week.